he is. And look at everybody locked in and ready to go. I hear, Genome, if your forehead is touching the screen, that you are truly at your peak gamer status. But I know...
A little while now, and I'm sure by the time they take that next fight, they'll have the ultimate ready to go again.
We also see One Tappy just getting absolutely bombarded by Knuckle Clusters. And we got to talk about the fact that Liquid do land here in Barometer. They do have the POI advantage. That's why you see them on the high ground. But Falcons, with the quickness, they're already on the low ground, running the Watson, the Fuse, and the Bangalore, like we've seen previously in scrims. But they were able to get that easy key onto Forufa, too.
Yeah, so you could see from the map just up there, you know, Falcons did have that information on where it was heading. It is southeast of Barometer, which makes their position at the bottom of that tower quite good, especially running the Watson here on Jen Burton. Ever the flexible player. One of the things that makes this roster sing is the fact that he can play whatever you need him to. Whatever the meta tells you is going to work, the Falcons will be running it because they have that flexibility around the play. They did not make it out of that position. Watson, good for the static situations, but once you have to get moving, she's not quite so useful. Falcons have been holding onto this middle spot for quite a while, but now it's all down to Hal to try and make it out of this, and I don't know if he's going to. He looks for the swap. They planned ahead, but it's still not enough.
Nah, it was very unfortunate. He had to turn his back there, too. EXL, fully healthy, seeing the solo that was Hal run away, cleaning him up, sends out that Thermite. Slavisa on the Pathfinder board, grappling right back inside of the building, where the circle was the most contested on that Barometer side.
Okay, having a look at our match results after match one here. Aurora and Twisted Minds equal on top there, 19 points, not too shabby.
Once again for game number 2, but don't forget for games 5 and 6, we get to go to the maps that you all from home get to vote. Which maps do you want to see? Unfortunately, the firing range is not the option here, okay? We got Broken Moon, we got Olympus. To consider like the 2 RNG maps that you don't really know how you're going to try to partake in this approach. But remember, we mentioned Team Falcons, and Hal gets the knock onto Jung-hee here too. So while they wrap around here, RC looking to try to restabilize.
Yeah, and you know, if you're wondering why we've all got all this action happening all of a sudden, we're getting what looks to be actually a checkpoint zone. You know, most of the time it swings up further towards North Pad, and you see people just going through this area. But this time, very much, it looks like to be finishing on checkpoint. Which
means that you can expect so many other teams to show face here if this fight takes any longer, because now Jen literally won. Hal cleans up the rest. Reject, Winity get taken out. But there's 3 other teams around Checkpoint who have heard this fight, Disguise being one of them. Guild Esports to see if they can wrap around and maybe show face alongside They're just following right behind, though. Luminosity, who are about to get sandwiched by Team Falcons and Disguise at the same time.
92% on the ult, didn't have the portal to get inside.
That's huge here because that's what they rely on for these difficult rotates. And now it is free firing for Jen Burden. He gets the knock. Hal follows up onto LG, so both these squads losing out on one member also slows them down on a rotate where they can feel the pressure on the other side.
Oh, look at that spot.
Okay.
Falcons. I mean, they picked something that's just at the edge of zone so they don't have to commit you know, too hard. They don't have to commit further. And meanwhile, it just gives them all this opportunity to start bursting out kills. And you can see it, their numbers ticking ever higher. 15 points so far in our 10-match series for Falcon. 0 barking orders as per usual.
Literally, Falcons are so hungry that they were able to pressure Liquid. We saw them take care of Disguise, but maybe have they overextended just a little bit with Gaming Gladiators now rotating right behind them.
Hal up to 5 kills this game. He had a couple in the first as well. Wouldn't be surprised if he ends up being the overall kill leader by the end of this game.
Gaming Gladiators actually backed away while Falcons are literally looking at both directions. They look like chameleons. They're looking at Liquid on one side. They're looking at Gaming Gladiators from the other. But all of these teams here are not in that next circle. What is this next plan here as the smokes have been exhausted? Zero gets knocked here. And it's only Jen and Zero and Hal playing behind the tree as the circle closes in behind their backs.
GG on one side, Team Liquid on the other. Is any kind of reset possible here? They haven't got the full kill just yet. Okay. There we go. No. Jaguares does finish them off, and not just him, but the rest of Falcons actually. Surprised that that happened so quickly from what seemed to be a position of power playing on the edge of the ring. A lot of the other teams, I guess, once they became a bit more stabilized, started turning their attention outwards.
From game 2, but still manages to sneak their way all the way up on the board on the end of that.
As you can see, the match results here for game number 2 out of 10, 20 points for Twisted Minds. They take the lead there, but a good game from GG, but a team that won game 1, Aurora. I want to talk about that first. I mean, Zephyr, you raised your hand there on that one. You're the EMEA specialist. They're showing up.
Now DSG, well, Designful says, I'll do it myself. He flies in a taste down Funk, and that's the opening they were desperate for.
That's the opening, and they should be able to clean up the rest of LG, you would imagine. But it is DSG with that opportunity to still push from this western side. Falcons have yet to make their move, and we still have a battle happening on the south towards the tunnel. Both NIP and GK are going to be there.
GK are going to be playing underneath them at the moment. NIP have moved across to one of those empty trucks now. We're going to see the exhibits going down as well. Falcons, they're making their move. You can see Zero just barking out orders to his teammates. JH's Professional will be eliminated in the meantime. They were off the high ground as ImperialHal has to get that shield swap to get healthy.
Remember, this is important for Falcons because they're trying to catch Twisted Minds, but losing one is not going to help, but it is not done and dusted just yet. Even as a 2, there is a lot of damage to be done by this squad.
NIP have been eliminated in the meantime. We're down to 7 now as we see Team Liquid taking the height, and they're going to be safe up here for quite some time. They've also got a gen from a previous occupant of this position, so the grenades might be eaten up as well. We're going to see the attempted reds coming in on the low ground as well. LG still alive. It's Sweet, I believe, as a solo here, as we see FaZe eliminated. Falcons have been eliminated as well, as we're down to just 5.
5 squad, Liquid have the height. We've got Twisted Minds still alive inside the RV as well. 10 matches. You're pretty much securing yourself not getting eliminated today. It's very unlikely you are going to be last place if you get a victory on the board.
Very, very true. And of course, you have to keep that in mind. Usually
time and time again in Apex Legends history.
Whoever's in production coming up with those names, by the way, we definitely should have asked what we call that stage, because they would have had a much better name than the floor.
It's officially the studio.
The studio. Okay, well, I'm just saying.
Projectability and Fennel all in the same spot.
This is everyone trying to lead Siphon. This was, I would say, the most comfortable position to play for the majority of the game. Everybody starts to stack up, but then we always talk about it. If everyone's stacked up and the zone pulls away, everybody has to leave. And if you are a team on the other side of all of this, it gives you an opportunity for kills. Speaking of which, it looks like Falcons are trying to create their own opportunities for kills here. They're all up onto red Evos. They're going up against DSG here. Never an easy fight. And it looks like Zero wants to take it. How's going to get that first knock onto enemy?
This could be a great position for Falcons, especially if they can take down the entirety of DSG here, because then they will own the northern side of this circle. Fennel, first team to go down on the western side. Now we've only got 12 squads. Make it 11, because Crazy Raccoon have also fallen, but Falcons really being aggressive have lost one here.
Can they clean this up? They should be able to, but the port is going to take Q0 away. Is he going to be able to survive, though? Where does that port end up? That's the real question here. Javon's still on his back, but certainly still kicking for the moment. As Yanya tries to move in, Liquid will be eliminated in the meantime. It looks like Falcons might be able to get a reset here. The smoke will go in, and DSG, that portal did get them back to some sort of safe ground. So Falcons, who had the advantage there for a second, well now, it looks like it might be a 2v2. Did they manage to get
No, they're already a 2.
Some great shots there onto the crouching 9 Impulse. Managed to get the kill himself, get that knock, and he's charging up once more. Plenty of cells to work with here for Designful. But Aurora Gaming will be eliminated, so the last players have gone from Aurora. We're down to 4 squads now, and Sykes is still doing work for LG.
Team Falcons, the only squad that are at full 3, by the way, but they do not have a Pathfinder, so Disguise being on height, it could play a big factor in this endgame, as we'll see another player eliminated from Eject. LG now are the team that survives this bridge battle, but only with 1. It's 1 versus 2 versus 3. Falcons have the 3, and now it's a 2 versus 3. Disguise versus Falcons.
Well, this is fascinating, right? I mean, the one good thing here for Falcons fans is they might be able to use the Bangalore to force the team down from height. There is that ultimate coming in indeed. They maybe try and bait with that evac tower as well. Exhibit down once more as well, and even though this is the 3v2, you still have to get that first damage. If this turns into a 2v2, all of a sudden it becomes a bit dicey.
Well, Falcons full sending it, but now you see from Disguise, they notice it, and they jump, they try and get the behind action on them and said, let's get behind them, let's use this rope as well.
Gemburn gets the kill onto Qzia though, Designful last alive, and Falcons will be a champions in game number 4. The super team putting a super performance here on World's Edge.
As the home team as well, and the crowd love to see that. The expectations on the shoulder of these 3 gentlemen. has been massive coming into this tournament. But now are we seeing the first win of many here at Apex Legends at the Esports World Cup? Will remain to be seen, but now they've finally got that taste of glory. How much more do they want to taste?
Yes, to break it down, but let's go through these match results. Obviously, Falcons, they were in that kill shot range, and that's the thing that's so scary about a team this good with this many land-tested experience moments to pull from when things aren't going exactly the way they want.
Make lemonade with some lemons there. And LG, we've been keeping our eyes on since the beginning of the day. They've really started to pick it up, making plays in the moments that they have to.
Sweet's just so good staying alive. Somehow he finds a way. And Team Liquid has found a way with their win earlier on in game number 3 to take the top of the leaderboard.
It's much your fault, viewers. But honestly, it's great to see Kings Canyon back on our screens. But maybe the players, some of them, not enjoying it as much. The zone shift, though, has benefited teams like Team Liquid, Luminosity, GHS, who have all kind of been waiting on that northern side and now have buildings to work with.
Well, we're in the bunker, and we all know what it's like to get in and out of the bunker. It can be extremely tough to do, but if you're one of the best teams in the world, certainly it's a challenge you're more than willing to take. However, they are a little bit sandwiched at the moment, and I'm pretty sure they're not actually safe, if I'm not mistaken, where they find themselves. And you can see Makers are on one side of the bunker. On the other side of the bunker, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be Fennel. So this is a tough, tough spot for Falcons to try and work their way through. They need to be really clean in either fight here to give themselves the best chance to survive.
And Pioneers are also in the area as well. So yeah, this is going to be a real scrap. They will be able to survive in this zone temporarily, so they're not going to be forced right here, right now to make a decision. But certainly as the zone closes in a little bit later, they will have to do something very quickly.
This is the other side, though. As you can see, it's going to be Falcons who try and maybe play for some kills, and they catch KCP off guard here. Omnu will go down, so the negative rotate into the zone was not what was expected, and now you're going to see what happens on the other side of it. It's Fennel, who essentially do the exact same thing to ImperialHal and Zero. Jimburton will go down, but they do manage to do enough damage to at least send them back, but it is a 2v3 situation for Falcons to try and overcome.
Yeah, it was Fennel that were holding down that position within bunker that was safe away from the zone. As Falcons left it, we saw Fennel take advantage of it, and now Fennel are going to have a 3 versus 2 here, and they are getting aggressive.
They zip over, but this is Hal and Zero they've got to deal with, and they're not going to be able to. It's going to be a huge clutch coming in from Falcons, and even though Zero will fall, they should be able to reset here. But I tell you what, they've got to be quicker. They've got to get a move on. Makers still on the other side of this zone as well, and they're going to have to be careful of those health meds.
Well, Makers have just been able to push into the zone on the other side, and Pioneers have left, so Falcons are going to survive here. Will get the opportunity to reset, and there is no one on the other side now. Somehow, elsewhere on the side of the map, excuse me, but now we can look at Falcons and what happened for them previously.
No,
this is live!
The confidence!
Pushing in!
Oh my goodness, Pioneers just got run over, and Falcons, one fight can turn things, one game can turn things, right? And Falcons, they just want to fight everyone now, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, they've got all the confidence in the world, and I'm not really surprised. Aurora going to be south, and it will be a chance for them to just stay here, hold this building. As you mentioned, one of the only buildings that is going to be in this final circle, but it's not exactly the most kind of close-knitted building, right? There's a lot of exposed areas.
Not a lot of space to poke out from either. It's just one of the smallest buildings, I think, in Apex Legends is a singular building. And that compound, although it's a good one to hold for now, will be one that they'll be able to kind of put some output from. But Team Liquid now take the high ground. But have they gone too early? Because FaZe still have the elevation to put this damage down. It's Nax, the man on your screen, who gets the knock onto Jaguares.
FaZe and Team Falcons both peppering Team Liquid, who are on the top of that building. And GHS might just be able to clean up the pieces as they arrive to the ground here. But certainly FaZe Clan with an opportunity to have one of their big games. Remember, they have looked amazing previously in other competitions, and they would love to find that same form here at the Esports World Cup.
Team Liquid eliminated. We are into our final 3 teams. It's GHS, Team Falcons, and FaZe. Falcons looking to go back-to-back here as well.
Go back-to-back and maybe take first place at the halfway point of these 10 matches. It's big grenades, and they are cooking. GHS Professional at the moment. It should be Falcons versus FaZe in this final fight, because they are both looking towards GHS, but Falcons are taking a look over towards FaZe and saying, we recognize where you are, so if you can kind of step 1 foot wrong, we'll be peppering you.
Zero managed to get one knock with his frag grenade, but it will be reset, I'm pretty sure, for JHS. They will be able to get back up to a 4-3. And you can see the Falcons are very, very aware of the position that FaZe have, right? Because they have the elevation above them for now. So they're trying to focus the kills first, followed by then turning the attention to FaZe. They are expecting FaZe to be looking at the same thing that they are right now. They want to take care of GHS, and then, as you say, focus on each other.
Worth noting, GHS do have that crypto, the solar crypto we mentioned, and could have an EMP to really impact how this final circle goes, but they're trying to move out now, and they're running towards FaZe.
FaZe, though, they're not letting them run towards them. They're putting a huge amount of damage in. Nags will get one. Zero gets one on the side of Falcon, so the kills are being shared out. But while the attention is being pulled away, Falcons tried to make that move, but what a Bangalore ult that is. Coming in from FaZe, they force Falcons just to slow that push down, as GHS Professional will be eliminated.
It's Falcons versus FaZe. It's North America versus EMEA, and it is a matchup, a mouth-watering 3v3 to finish off this match 5 here on Kings Canyon.
Well, here comes everything from Falcons as well. All the utility going in. You're going to see the Rolling Thunder coming in from Zero. You're going to see the grenades going in from Hal as well. And it's about who can get that first knock. At the moment, it looks like FaZe are kind of trapped behind a couple of these rocks. And now the swing is coming in. Falcons will get one, but Zero, he has gone down as well.
Tied 2-2, but oh my, shred from ImperialHal, and now it should be theirs. It's just a matter of cleaning up.
Now it's just about cleaning up, like you say, and it will be back to back for Falcons.
And the crowd erupts once more for the home team of Team Falcons, the team that is leading the Esports World Cup.
Things that lets you know Falcons, they came here to play. It's the reason we all picked them. 95% of the talent team, except we the people, picked Falcons to win. And I love you, peeps, but I mean, it's looking pretty good for a lot of us.
I mean, absolutely. As soon as Mark and Dan came into the green room, Mark was like, well, everybody's telling
the tally as we take a look at the overall. With those two back-to-back wins, they have just gotten ahead of Team Liquid in the standings.
This one is it's kind of thrown the teams around a little bit. It's not been a particularly consistent zone in the direction that it has pulled from one ring to the next. That doesn't bother Falcons, of course, who once again find themselves in a good spot, a little bit of cover to the left and the right. I mean, you know, I guess this is similar to playing down in the trenches over at North Pad in Storm
Well, these
Point,
four
maybe.
teams do fight by that choke. You know who's right behind them on the north side of the circle? It's Team Falcons, who finally clean up that last straggler of KCP. Ex-Cholos get taken out here too. 8 squads left, and Falcons, uncontested, are just looking at the 4 squads in that choke. Crazy Raccoon, GK rather, are right now in trouble with Falcons coming up behind them.
Oh, this is ridiculous in terms of KP potential here for Falcons. CR and GK are just locked into it, looking at each other. They have to worry about the team that is right next to them. They can't even give any mind to Falcons. Meanwhile, they really can just hold the buttons down. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the tweet from Hal not too long ago saying, you know, give me the devotion, see what I can do with this gun. And that was when he was the only one left alive on the team, I think, Vicky. And now he's got his team members with him.
Circle, but also making sure that Guyman and Guild aren't going to be looking at them here too.
Yeah, 4 squads left alive now. Falcons have breached 80 points. They are running away with this in match 6.
LG can't get a break. Guild is also looking at them, and now Team Falcons are looking to fully send it onto Luminosity, trying to send a message. Where are you running? Luminosity get eliminated. You hear the crowd. You look at Zero. Look at that pop-off. The audience is roaring for Team Falcons, and they are feeling that energy.
So many Falcons fans, you can hear them chanting in the background. They've got one, they've got 2, they want a 3rd win.
Trying to plan how they're going to rotate here. Ooh, nice Seartac. They're actually able to reach them, but it's a trade-off for Seartac to Seartac here. All the information that Gaming could also take advantage of, but they also have to look at Guild, who will be rotating from the high ground to the right.
Light and Zero, the only 2 players in this final circle with red armor, interestingly. So still quite a lot of purples. That this is the time where you want to start pumping those grenades in. They have to get out of there, or they have to just tank the damage.
I think it's going to be even more interesting that Guild is the only one with the Watson here that could be a big deal as Falcon approach.
Okay, he's got it left in the tank, Vicky. Plenty of clips, plenty of bullets here for Hal to mow down the opposition.
Get ready to zoom here through as Blast having to pop this shield bat circle, closing in right behind their backs. Keep an eye once again on these bang ults.
this little ramp that the Guild can play on is actually massive. I think the other two teams are going to have to come out underneath them. I think it's advantage Guild right now.
Ooh, playing off the low ground here. Zero taking a good amount of damage. How having to be careful. They hear the team inside. Motherload just trying to block them out from their entrance though. Sent it out.
He gets so much time to set that up and put it exactly where he wants. As you can see, it's given them a lot of information. They know when the other teams are going to be pushing out. Gaming Gladiators will take the last second, every inch they can get. But now as they push out, they're stunned.
No way. No
they can't
way.
make it out.
The Bengals slowing them down. This is so free for Team Falcons. But how? The last one alive. Can he clutch it? No. It is Guild in the last sliver of health. He also preemptively popped the Mega just in case. At the very end, Guild. The patience paying off as it came out from the top.
What we're trying to achieve in this particular series here, the top 9 will get to go through to the finals. They're not playing again until Sunday. The next 10 teams will go to the last chance qualifiers. And number 20.
That was for Guild, because if I recall correctly, before that dub, they were sitting in 17th overall. Look how much that has changed for a team like Guild, getting that dub and putting them in 12th place, giving them a lot more room to off the low ground of that building, because we know that there's a lip of the hilltop that exits out of the truck that you have on the outskirts of the tree buildings, that any spot on the high ground, because it's a free range here as Falcons forcibly climb their way up, get the first knock, make it 2, and looking for the last dragon. Look how the way that they just force their way up on the high ground, taking care of this team, gets another crack on a spot right in front of them. That's Crazy Raccoon. So they looked at Fennel, they're looking Crazy Raccoon, but Reject maybe coming up from right behind him or even low ground here. But how? He is looking in every direction, breaking his neck.
It's insane how quickly he's able to switch his focus from one team to another. Grab kills here, there, the Falcons combining to push their lead even further here. Twisted Minds do finally go out.
The fact that they looked at Reject, then they looked at Fennel, and then they still got the crack on Crazy Raccoon, who backed away, by the way, said, I don't want none of that business, and then still proceeded to hold their ground, are chasing after the solo that is Reject.
Yeah, it's something just about their confidence, right? Because I feel like if you see other teams in that situation, they look, they see another team, they're like, oh gosh, we better calm down, we better, you know, not get sandwiched in between other teams. Falcons have just such ridiculous, unshakable belief in themselves, and why wouldn't you when you're so far ahead of all the other teams right now that they see another team and they
Where are you running, Sweet? Only so much you could do. The last member taken out and Luminosity eliminated.
And that's so important because now NIP don't have to worry about anything else. It's just Falcons. They can focus on that. They can plan it around. They've got 17 seconds until the zone starts to close. They can work out what their next move is going to be, because as you mentioned, it's a tough one. They've got that high ground.
You know, Team Falcons have 111 points, by the way. Ninja Pajamas have 30 points. It's just the perspective of the gap that we're seeing. Second place with Liquid have 73 points. And Falcons are looking to take a third win under their belt. But NIP trying to cook up something here with the zip line on the other side.
I mean, the gen's going to work here. NIP, they've switched over to the Watson to try and play this more edge play style, zone play style. It's working here. They got Godspot. They've been able to neutralize that Bang ult coming in towards them. Let's see if the other ultimates will allow them to get the win here. It's going to be tough. Falcons, 2 wins already in the 10 games total we've got here today. But look at that. Perfect vision. This means Hal can aim his nades even more accurately with the small amount of cover NIP have left.
Nail in the coffin. Stop. Stop. They're already dead. We have to see how they get out of this. Are they going to just fully send it to zipline? He's cutting them off from the zipline entrance too. Zero trying to get an off angle, willing to take the extra circle damage, so doesn't want to overextend, get called out, and Seer also providing the extra vision.
Look at this. I mean, a few cells left in the backpack. NIP have been bled dry. Can Falcons finish exsanguinating them here?
Look at the way that they're jumping on top of these rocks. King of the Hill, Pride Walk. Welcome the Kings, Team Falcons. Take another game, 3 dubs in the the books. What a dominating team. Look at Zero. No pop-up necessary here. Just all smiles as Hal's like, we got another one. Jen, another day at work.
Playing it up to the crowd, who of course is very much in the Falcons' corner, Vicky.
Remember how we highlighted all the time, like, obviously, right, that Storm Point was their biggest strength. Can we talk about the fact that over the court, hey, pretty darn close right there. 3 extra kills, we'll absolutely take those. I mean, it's a luxury when you have that much damage, when you have a fuse, right? Like, very given.
And just look at the rest of the lobby.
Oh, all right, hold on, he still got him though. You know, at least one more,
He gets the fist bump, and you know what, they deserve it, because as we just say that, they do, yeah, they make something out of that situation. Anyway, final 3v3, Team Falcons, Twisted Mind, #1 versus #2 right now.
I've seen this before here. Team Falcons looking to finally engage, and Twisted Minds down a member already. Player K working off of the gold knock.
Let's not forget, it was Legends Gaming that ruined things at Overlook at Split 1 playoffs for Falcons in this exact spot. Can they do it again?
History repeats itself, though. It's a trade-off from both sides, with Zero going down. Hal clearing space with a knuckle cluster. Here he slides through. How can he do it? He is one. He gets one knock. Playing off the knockdown. He has to try to get the reset. Playing incredibly peacefully. Look at this. Oh no, the reload. He fails to do it, but even better for your second place team, Twisted Minds, to get the dub with 92 total points.
Across the board, had some remarkable performances that not only pushed them up in their win against the Falcons, but so many of these other teams coming out of our match.
Yeah, I mean, I look at that and the Falcons look a little bit vulnerable, has been in those positions. But overall, in terms of the standing, Lauren, there has been absolutely nothing that can touch them. They are playing not just in another country, another city, on another planet.
Moment, or just trying to solidify top 3. Speaking of top 2, Falcons in and around this building have taken a lot of damage.
Well, the team that's now in 11th place is going to be EXL, who are on your screens right now. 40 points for them. A reminder, coming into this game, GHS had 44. Now, we did see them just pick up a couple of points themselves with some kills. GK ESPORTS will be eliminated in the meantime, as will Twisted Minds, which is good news for Falcons fans, because they were the closest to them at the top. And Aurora have just gone down on the southern side of the zone as well.
Going down like flies, Team Falcons will be eliminated, so Twisted Minds still will be within touching distance going into match #10, but suddenly it's 9 squads. What is happening in the lobby at the moment? Everyone falling down.
And don't make anything out of that game. That's the toughest of pills to swallow for them.
You can see their confirmation. Reject Minity is 0 points, despite the fact they dropped.
As well as a lot of damage being exchanged. These are the overall standings as we now head towards our final game of the day. And you can see how close it is. Makers at the bottom at the moment. Trail Reject by 1.
What up, everybody? I am here with the CEO, ImperialHal. Before we get started, how's the hand?
Hand is good. It hurt when I slammed it, but I'm good.
All right, you guys won 3 games, almost 5 in a row. What happened in those 2 second-place matches?
The Overlook game, I thought he was going to fence me because I was playing the knockdown, but he just instead fenced his feet. And I also didn't reload, so it was, yeah, I just messed up pretty bad there. But, and then the other game, I can't remember, but basically we suck. We should be winning 5 games in a row.
New maps, 10 games, a lot different of Apex than what we're used to, right? You guys dominated. Was it easier than you expected?
I was honestly expected, like, you know, to be pretty easy, even though, you know, last night we were TD-diving and we were getting slammed pretty badly. But we know that every time we play a tournament, we're going to show up. So, you know, as usual.
My man. Some might say levels, but truly a home crowd for you guys, right? What do you want to say to the fans here in the STC Arena and all the fans back home?
Thank you guys as usual. You know, always, we can hear you guys through the headset. We can hear you guys. Thank you guys. We love the chance. It helps us a lot, and just, you know, keep doing it. We appreciate it.
They're chanting CEO right now. Well, you heard it here from the CEO, ImperialHal, from the Falcons. Casters, back to you.
Just for them, as GHS, they're in 8th spot. They should be good now. 7 squads remain, by the way.
GK in 12th. Maybe they are the one team that could upset things here. They have an opportunity, but what a moment that was for Designful and DSG fans. I'm not sure if it was a 2v1 or a 1v1, but who cares? Because it felt like Designful was 3 men on a mission there.
Unbelievable, and it's really going to be looking that and saying it could be one of the biggest fights for them. Speaking of big fights, Falcon's still alive and still ruining the hopes and dreams of other teams in this lobby. But at the moment, only 2 of them still here. But we've seen it before, you can do damage, but now how the last remaining player, surely you can't get out of this one, will not. 5 teams remain. One of them is Makers, and Makers have just overtaken Reject Winity. Reject Winity will be eliminated from this tournament. Their key will be crushed.
The fact that we have flipped so many teams' positions in those final moments, this is the match results. This is not the final overalls from our series today, but, I mean, Dan, talk us through them.
I mean, we have to give props where they are unbelievable, but this is the series ranking. Reject Winity, they fall into last position. Their key will be crushed. Their tournament is over. And there also is your top 9. And look at the confirmation. EXL, they realize they have done just enough on 52 points.
But they certainly are happy about their performance. I love how Kay was trying to see, you guys gonna do some sightseeing, gonna hang out in Riyadh. I mean, that's a good idea, man. We all wish we could. They do have some downtime. But I know that these guys are all about getting the win. And look at that, the Falcons fly high today, 130, 140 points. Yeah, Zephyr, Jayhawk getting it going.